Well, it's incredibly unfortunate, first of all. You understand in some degree, to some degree, why he's gone, because when you've been coaching a team for 7 years and you haven't been to a conference finals, that's problematic. We understand that. But in this particular instance, when you consider the fact that he's one of the elite coaches in the game, when you consider the fact that they were coaching in a bubble, you had a team, you were coaching a team that basically voted not to be there, which means they didn't want to participate. You had guys like Montrezl Harrell missing about 33 days, Patrick Beverley missing about 18 days, numerous other players missing a slew of days because they were either injured or there were other things that were going on that prevented them from performing. You really didn't have a chance. And then when you consider what transpired in games 6 and 7, when in terms of high percentage shots and things of that nature, they were getting them and guys were just missing. Then you have a leader in Kawhi Leonard, the superstar that you acquired in the offseason, along with Paul George, two individuals that probably would not have come there had it not been for Doc Rivers being the head coach of the franchise, and they don't show up in the game 7. Then it's one of those situations, particularly when you're looking at Kawhi, who is as indifferent as they come in terms of his personality. He's going to work hard. He's going to go on the court. He's going to perform. He's never going to cheat you with effort. But in the end, can you be that leader that galvanizes troops? That was never Kawhi Leonard's MO. So all of those things being stacked against Doc Rivers, what I'm saying is that if he's going to lose his job, you know what, it would have been far more understandable had there never been an interrupted season and he lost under those conditions. But considering the fact that the season was interrupted, and then you had guys, the Clippers and the Lakers were the only two teams that voted not to participate in the bubble and not to play, then they came back and played. And unlike the Lakers, you had guys missing games all over the place. For him to lose his job under those conditions are incredibly unfortunate for a coach of his stature. I don't like it at all.
And as you mentioned, this is a team with a couple of big superstars, a lot of good players that come off the bench, a team that I think a lot of coaches would love to coach. So who do you expect the Clippers to now pursue to take over for Doc Rivers?
I have no idea whatsoever because I had no idea. I mean, I suspected that Doc Rivers would probably lose his job because you heard the whispers and what have you. And you imagine all the guys that'll be out there clamoring for this opportunity. And I haven't spoken to Steve Ballmer about this, the billionaire owner for the Los Angeles Clippers as of yet, nor anybody within the Clippers organization, because this just came down. And obviously I wasn't working until I just heard the news. But in the end, I will tell you that any coach out there would want this job. Because Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, regardless of how they didn't show up in Game 7, the bottom line is they're stars in this league. And if you consider the plethora of other players that they have on this roster, you might be in need of a quintessential point guard, a literal floor general who can distribute the basketball and stuff like that. But outside of that, all the pieces are there. If they're highly motivated and focused and they want to play, they can beat anybody. Even though it didn't happen, they could still come back. My proposition was that they all come back this season, next season rather. Come back and show what you got and give it to them. And that's what you should do because they'll be more motivated than ever before. But that didn't happen, and now Doc Rivers is going to be on an open market. And teams, for example, like the Philadelphia 76ers, I don't know whether they're going to call him or not. I know this much. They damn well had better call him because as recently as 48 hours ago, it was about Mike D'Antoni, the former coach of the Rockets and the Lakers and the Knicks and the Phoenix Suns. Okay, that guy was a leading candidate for a job. And, of course, Ty Lue. Unless you're going to get Ty Lue or whatever, I don't see how you're the Philadelphia 76ers and you could think about Mike D'Antoni over a Doc Rivers. That better not happen. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, exactly. Going off of that, there's a handful of teams that are looking for a head coach. Where do you think the best fit for Doc Rivers to go to a place could be?
Philly.
Philly. That's the team.
You know, you see a lot of teams still looking for a coach, but definitely Philly. You got a star in Joel Embiid who should have his behind down in the post doing damage, and he should be the second best player definitively on a night in, night out basis, rivaling the Greek Freak. You got a guy in Ben Simmons that Doc Rivers would know how to utilize because he can't shoot. Maybe he'll eventually get some kind of a shot, but he has every single thing else in his arsenal to be a prolific perennial all-star for years to come. It would have been nice if they still had Jimmy Butler and J.J. Redick, but guess what? You don't. But you have Tobias Harris, and you have a few other pieces that you could do something with. With the right coaching, the right motivation, a new fresh start, a new voice. The bottom line is, guess what? You can legitimately, almost instantly compete for Eastern Conference crown. That's what this will come down to as far as I'm concerned. If I was speaking to Doc Rivers, and I haven't spoken to him yet, but I damn well intend to, my thoughts to him would be, go for the Philly job. The Philadelphia 76ers, if you're listening, because as you know, I worked in Philadelphia for 17 years. I know these people. The Philadelphia 76ers, because I know you listening. It damn well better not be Mike D'Antoni ahead of Doc Rivers. Let Mike D'Antoni go to Indiana and coach the Pacers. It better be Doc Rivers over Mike D'Antoni. I can tell you that much. They should be calling Doc Rivers now.